Hey everyone, Luke here. How's it going? I hope you're all having a good day and having a good time, and it's sunny wherever you are. And if it isn't, well, that sucks. But in today's video, I want to talk to you about a decision I made 10 months ago, which may be the best decision of my life, and maybe be one of the stupidest. And let's just kind of break this down candidly. So I had a full-time job for a motor company, well-paying. I'd been there 7 years, and unless I did an absolutely monumental screw-up in terms of gross misconduct, I probably would never get fired from that place. And you had every week knowing where your paycheck was coming from, but honestly, it was kind of unfulfilling. And I wanted to do something different with my life, so I quit and started life as a data analyst in more of a digital nomad capacity. And there's been ups, there's been downs from this journey. And today I kind of just want to tell you what I've experienced, what I've learned. Was it worth it? Do I regret it? A little bit of everything, really. And yeah, essentially, just maybe if you're considering this type of move yourself, maybe if you just want it for entertainment value, well, here we are. You get to hear my entire story from start to finish. So I do apologise in advance if I bore you to death with this long video, because I'm going to talk about me for the next 10, 20 minutes, whatever, but hopefully you'll get something insightful from it anyway. Now, if you did see my video on my other channel, Talksteer, about 10 months ago, I put a video out there when I quit my job, just saying like, this is why I quit, etc. And well, this is kind of the follow-up to that. But since it's on a different channel, I want to kind of tell the entire story anyway. So starting off with the job for Ford Motor Company, I started working there in 2017. I left early 2024 in January, so been there for 7 years. Longest place I've ever gone without getting fired, by the way, so that is amazing. But from that, I learned quite a few things about myself. Now, I want to say firstly the good from working there. It was a steady job. You knew exactly where your next paycheck was coming from week to week, which was really, really awesome. And there was just so much financial security from that. And if you were planning to start a family or something, then it was definitely, there's a lot to be said for that type of security. And also the security knowing that if the company, the chance of the company going bust are also going to be quite low as well. So absolute security from that job, really. And I will say for myself, it got me on the property market, it got me on the housing ladder, and got my life set up in a position where, well, I was kind of able to afford to do this. So from that perspective, you asked me the question, do I regret working at Ford's? No. It was the right thing for that period in my life. So what made me move away from that? What were the choices that were driving me forward? Well, honestly, although I said there was all these positives about Ford, and there were some awesome people there, honestly, like some really, really decent people, both in management, both on the shop floor. But when you work in a place that's been there for 50, 60 years, when there's 600 people there, there's going to be a selection of dickheads. And unfortunately, dickheads can ruin it for everyone. And there was two particular types of thought there that I didn't like. One of them was, it was a blame culture. If something goes wrong, it's not, okay, well, that's unfortunate. How do we prevent this from happening in the future? No, it was just because everyone was scared of them getting into trouble. It was like, well, whose fault is it? So there was lots of ego play, which didn't help make a healthy work environment. On top of that, there was also a level, I'd say, of like favoritism. A lot more of who you know, not what you know. So with those two things in mind, they did sour the taste towards the end for me. Another thing that always bugged me was, and this is one of the three things I'm trying to move towards more and more now in my life, is freedom of movement, freedom of time. Now, this is a manufacturing environment. So manufacturing environments have this schedule you have to keep on. You've got a production line, you have to minimize downtime, you have to keep the gears in the machine turning like 24/7 pretty much. And what that kind of means is holidays suffer greatly because of that. Now, you did get your allocation of holidays, but they had to be taken at specified time to the year, which just really, really sucked. I didn't want to take my holidays during the middle of, when all the kids are off school. I want to go when there's no kids around, when the prices are half the amount, and I want to be able to choose when to take that during the year. So, yeah, we just didn't really have that freedom in that job. Now, I tried moving forward. I tried getting data analyst qualifications, I tried seeing whether I could push for more of a remote capacity, a hybrid working model perhaps, and I was told no. Okay, fair enough, if it's not there, it's not there. But at that point, it was kind of close to being like, see ya, like, let's go our different ways, wish you the best of luck, I'm going to go and do my own journey. And that was the work situation. Now, next to work situation, there's also health situations. Around 2020, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and I've got the all clear now. And thankfully, it wasn't aggressive. It was caught very early. It was caught by accident, actually, and I've got real no long-lasting repercussions of having that. So I'm very, very thankful to God because of the way that situation played out. It also made me feel like the things were a bigger deal to me before just weren't. When you make like mountains out of molehills, you'll worry about little things in your life. Just those stuff went away. There was an actual kind of calmness, peacefulness over like those type of things in my life after that, because I was like, this could have been worse. This could have been my last few years. If this had just played out a little bit differently. And I made myself ask myself the question of, if I'm retiring, or even further along, I'm on my deathbed and I'm 80 or 90 years old, would I look back on my common path working at Ford's thinking, I'm happy with how that turned out? And to me, the answer was no. And I'm not saying for someone else it would be no. Like, each person's different. I want to say that. Like, I want to say that anyone who's working there week after week to provide for the family, to provide that steadiness, like, Grace, you're doing an awesome job. And I respect that completely. It just wasn't right for me. I mean, I don't have a family yet, so I don't have kids. So I wanted to make that choice before I'm in my mid-30s, which I'm close to being at the moment. So, like, I thought I'll take this risk while I can take that risk. On the top of that, last year, my grandmother died, which also was someone who, despite being a very, very loving person, was someone who never travelled out of the country in her entire life, never took a risk, always worried about the smallest things that were happening. And I was like, I don't want to end up like that. Like, those type of things scared the living shit out of me. So that set me upon this course to go and take these risks. So I quit my job. I started looking for other jobs as a data analyst. I landed my first job after spending 3 weeks in the States just because I wanted to do something kind of like just great to do and celebrate having this freedom. So yeah, I came back from the States, started a new job for a fashion company as a data analyst, and I quit after 3 days. Like, I had a full-blown panic attack of thinking like, I'm out of my depth here. This is bad. Like, I can't do this job. And you can imagine the regret I'm feeling at this point. I've got no job. I've got a house to pay for. I'm wondering what my wife's thinking, even though she's been absolutely supportive and awesome. But, it's like, at that point, I'm having some serious regrets about what I've done. And I'm trying to think of ways I can maybe get my old job back and save face at that point. And, I'm trying to say, like, maybe I can contact him and see whether he wants work as a freelance capacity, where I'm not employed, but then I can still work with them in an environment I know. And really, that was just kind of a cry for my comfort zone, because you know what the situation is and you know what to expect and you know who the people are. So I was a very scared person at that point. That was probably around February this year, a month into my journey. And this, like, one absolute shit start this is. Probably didn't help that I'd come off my citalopram, my antidepressant at that point, which one of the downsides of it, one of the withdrawal symptoms, is increased anxiety. So I would maybe say, if you're ever coming off antidepressants, don't do it in a situation where your anxiety levels are going to be heightened anyway, because you're just adding fuel to the fire. I spent the next few months actually just trying to do YouTube videos, actually trying to sell loads and loads of things on eBay, really just to tread water, to keep my head above water, not to drown. That was kind of why I did it. And eventually I started to apply for a few more jobs, and I got the job I'm currently in at the moment. And I started that around June after lots and lots of stress, lots of just anxiety and anguish. I landed this job I'm currently in, and I can honestly say it's such a night and day difference. I'm like, have so much freedom in the current job I am. Now, I'm not going to talk about who my current employer is at the moment, but it was fully remote. It paid a little bit less than Ford's, but when you take commuting out of the equation and the extra freedom, I'm probably not on any less money. Now, the thing that was really great about trying to find these roles is when you start going into these more completely remote roles and such, is you have a lot more control over your time and hours. And it's not that you get to do less hours or any of that type of stuff, but I found that I'm getting more choice of like where I can work, and do I want to work up here in the office? Do I want to go out to my camper van and maybe do some work when I'm out somewhere else? Do I want to go to a cafe, sit down with the Wi-Fi, do a bit of work there? And the answer is yes, I can do all of those stuff. And in fact, my current employer, compared to Ford's, not only allows you to take your holidays when you want, you can buy extra holidays if you want, and essentially I'm putting the hours in over 4 days instead of 5. So every single week I get a 3-day weekend. And that's really, really awesome being able to do is extra hours during Monday to Thursday to back off on Friday and just have a long weekend every weekend. And honestly, I could feel a lot more refreshed and healthier doing this. Maybe the biggest thing is I'm not in this blame culture anymore. People are a lot more understanding of stuff, and I feel like it's a team effort of like, how can we be better rather than whose fault is this? And it's a much nicer environment, and I think a much nicer practice to be working for. And that's got nothing to do with being remote or working as a set location. I think just companies in general, workplaces, are much better when they deal with stuff with that type of attitude going into it. So that's been really good. I'm also saying, like, even though all this wonderful stuff has happened for my job, like this stuff that's happened makes me regret not leaving. Makes me not regret leaving Ford's. I have no regrets at this point. The pay that I went through is worth it to what I'm doing today. If you ask me, do I want to do this job forever? The answer is absolutely not. For the reason that what I mentioned earlier in the video was I want to take these risks in my life and go and really live the life I want. The life I want still isn't sat behind a computer screen for 8 to 10 hours a day. That also isn't healthy for me. I also don't want to be stuck here in Liverpool, to be honest, in England itself. In fact, it's nothing against Liverpool, it's just this country has gone to shit. So what my journey is at the moment now is moving to the States. I'm trying to save up. I want to probably sell a house and such, sell my assets or whatever, and hopefully at the end of next year, go move there and start my own business. And that's like the next journey I want to do. But to me, I think it's important to keep moving closer and closer to the direction that you want to move towards. And that's something I think my current job at the moment, working in this remote capacity, really has allowed me to do. It's allowed me to make up an hour at the end of the day to take an hour off earlier in the day. So if I want to go and take stuff to the post office, to drop stuff off them selling, I can. If I want to talk to people, about moving to a different place, to a different country, I can go and take those kind of meetings, those type of calls, but still put the hours in when it suits me. So what I want to say to people is, opportunities are out there. I mean, I also know other people who've done similar things and are living. Everyone who I'd known who's quit Ford's, who's quit those well-paying, steady jobs that kind of can be stressful and a little bit disheartening, have all gone on to do better stuff. They're living more interesting lives. They are having more fun, and they have more purpose to what they're doing. And I think that's what's important. There's a pattern of behaviour here, a pattern of results to say that typically people are succeeding when they carefully plan what to do and when they walk away from something. Like, you're never going to feel ready to walk away from stuff like this. You're never going to feel ready walking away from something like Ford Motor Company. You're never going to feel ready to walk away from the country you live in and go and start a business in a new country. It's always going to be scary. And that's, I think, fundamentally, if you're taking anything away from this video, is I think the thing that's going to make or break a person in terms of like outrageous success or great success to just living week to week and just having a steady life. When you feel that fear of a situation changing, do you grab the bull by its horns, or do you run away and just stay with what you know. Now, I'm not saying that anyone is particularly right or wrong, it depends on your circumstances, but do know that if you take in these situations, rarely do you ever feel completely ready 100% to take them. You will feel scared. And you need to address that fear if you want to make that difference. So that's where I'm up to today. That's been my journey for the last 10 months or so. And right here, right now, I'm very much looking forward to the future. It's, I would say, got me halfway to moving to the States, because now I've got the flexibility and freedom to make that change. And I would just say, if you're young, you haven't got a family maybe, if you feel like you can take these risks, I'd say do it. I think we regret the things in life most that we didn't do. Inaction, I think, is one of the biggest regrets people have. And not knowing how something turns out can often be worse than something not turning out when you've taken the action, because at least you know how that situation actually ended. So with that all in mind, also please don't be reckless with impulsive decisions. Do make sure to take calculated risks when you're doing it. But anyway, I hope that's been some insights to what my journey's been. So thank you for making it this far into the video. My future videos coming up are actually going to be more about productivity and what I do on a day-to-day basis and such. This one was a bit more probably of a retrospective video, but I thought it's a good starting point for this channel anyway. So I look forward to seeing you in all the videos coming forward. If you want to see more videos like this, or moving to the States, or just business ideas and such, or how I like to live my life, hit that bell notification and subscribe button to be alerted of those videos in the future when they drop. But until then, thank you for watching. See you soon, and as always, take care.